the protection from waswasa. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. And then it says, مِنْ شَرِّ الْوَسْوَاسِ الْخَنَّاسِ. Who is Khannas? Shaitan. Rasulullah ﷺ was told by Allah this protection from the waswas. So the Taharat holds one of the key to the ibadat, and it is also the key to protect ourselves from any attack of shaitan. To our children, we should teach this from the young age, just by memorizing the hadith and making them learn the hadith, a portion of hadith that at-tahuru shatrul iman, it's blessed, yes. Children should know the parts of the hadith or the hadith of Rasul Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, but then what? After that, we also need to understand that what does this in practical life leads us to. So this is the first thing. A famous hadith, you must have heard it, it is in Sahihain. Rasul Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, he passed by two graves. And Prophet stopped. And when he stopped, he asked for the branch of a tree, day tree according to some hadith. And he split it into two, and he placed one part or portion of the branch on each grave. And the Sahaba asked the reason, Ya Rasulullah, why? Why did you do what you did? Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala replied, and this is to all of us, people who go to work and use urinals, people who stop at a service station and use urinals, and people who stand up and urinate in their own houses. We need to understand this. So why did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do what he did when Sahaba asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why did you do this? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated that both of these individuals were being punished. And not for something very heavy, not for something which is big in terms of sin. One of them, he used to do backbite. And the other one, what he used to do? He did not protect himself from the urine drops. He did not protect himself from the urine drops. Now, it takes, let's say, a couple of minutes longer you be in the toilet than what you probably have the habit of doing. So this is something very minimal, and this is something you may not take it as, is this something serious? But Hadith Pak made it clear that this habit that we may have and not protecting ourselves or not teaching our children the proper way of using the toilet, it could lead them when they grow up to the wrong path and using the toilet the way befits them. Subhanallah. For a little bit of convenience that we want, we are putting ourselves into the great danger. So the conclusion of this part of the ahadith and ayat I've mentioned, that taharat and cleanliness is an essential part of our deen. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself was a very clean and very pure individual. Ulama, they have written the cleanest person on the earth in terms of his clothes, in terms of his body, and in terms of the smell of the body is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Cleanest individual on the earth that has ever lived. Then why do the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam cannot follow the same footsteps of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Why can't we look after our personal hygiene? Why can't we look after the way we use the toilet and the way we in day-to-day life relieve ourselves? It is essential, it is necessary that we look after this aspect. Let's take an example of salah. That how important being clean it is in Islam. Rasul Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, he has mentioned many virtues of the salah. But then he stated, what is the key to the salah? Miftahu salah al-wudu. Ablution is the key to salah. Without wudu and without ablution, you cannot pray salah. Now why is it? Technically, if you think about it, as long as ghusl is not farz on you, Your body is clean. Yes? Your body does not have any impurity on it. And yet Allah commanded to you and I, إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ. That when you get up for the salah, don't just come for the salah. فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ, wash your face. وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ, wash your arms. وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ, and do the masah of your head. وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ, and wash your feet up to the ankles. Now why this mechanism Allah placed before every salah? Subhanallah. For example, when a person passes the wind. Now passing the wind is a natural act. And in general it does not impure any part of your body. It doesn't even impure the clothes or the underwear that you are wearing. But yet, that breaks the wuzu. And this tells you the importance of the Taharat in Islam, because the wind, the path that it has used, and the path that it is coming out from is impure. So even the wind in itself is not impure, but you still have to clean yourself again before you come for the salah. Look at the depth in Islam about being clean and pure. And often Sahaba, they were questioned about this. Yes? Now Sahaba, they were questioned by non-Muslims because they used to be surprised. If you look around other religion and their teachings, and how shallow it is that you ask any Christian about simple understanding of Trinity, which is very important part of their religion. And it happened to me that I met two trainee priests, and I asked them that, can you explain to me this Trinity, that you believe in? Yeah, the God, Son of God, and Holy Spirit. Can you very simply explain it to me? And they said, sorry Maulana, we cannot explain this to you, and we cannot make you understand it. It's quite shallow, but in Islam, the teachings and the guidance is quite deep. A Sahabi was asked by a non-Muslim. They said, what kind of religion do you follow? What kind of deen do you follow? And what kind of prophet do you follow that teaches you everything? And all these details. Sahabi replied to him, being proud of his deen and being proud of the teachings that he attained from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He replied to him, yes, our prophet teaches us even how to relieve when we are in the toilet. This is the deen, because it does not leave any aspect of your life empty where you need to look at somewhere else, where you need to look at the guidance somewhere else. You have everything in your deen to look at and act upon and get the guidance from. Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stated in one of the hadith park, when we do wudu, this is just a ritual for you and I. We come for salah, we know I don't have wudu, and we do wudu. And we just act upon it as the practical way as we know how to do wudu. Now we'll get into detail inshallah ta'ala. But when you do wudu, do you ever think that what does this achieve for you? And when you do wudu, what do you achieve from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Let's look at the hadith of Rasul Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. This is narrated by Sayyidina Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu in Sahih Bukhari. ये हदीस पाक कि हम वुजू करते हैं तो अमूमन वुजू की नीयत सिर्फ ये होती है कि नमाज के लिए हम वुजू कर रहे हैं या कुरान पढ़ने के लिए वुजू कर रहे हैं. लेकिन वुजू के जो फज़ाइल हैं उस पर अगर आप गौर करें और अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने वुजू की जो फजीलत बयान की है इसके बारे में अगर सोचें तो आपको एहसास होगा कि ये सिर्फ एक प्रैक्टिस नहीं है, ये सिर्फ एक काम नहीं है जो वुजू से हम जो नमाज से पहले हम करते हैं, बल्कि अल्लाह ताला इस पर हमें बेहतरीन अजर व सवाब अता फरमाता है. हज़रत अबू हुरैरा रज़ियल्लाहु ताला से समीअतु रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम यक़ूल, I heard Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam stating, inna ummati yawm al-qiyamati ghurran muhajjilina min athar al-wudu. Indeed, my ummah, for within my nation, on the day of Qiyamah, and the terminology Prophet used, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is ghurram muhajjilin. They'll be bright and shining. They'll be bright and shining. Subhanallah. Why? Prophet ﷺ stated, min atharil wudu, as an effect and as a result of the wudu and ablution. You come for salah, you wash your face, you wash your arms, you did masa, and you washed your feet, and this made you able to perform the salah. But on the day of judgment, this will give you a unique identity of being the ummati of Rasulullah ﷺ, because your parts of the wudu will be bright and they'll be shining. People will question, who are these people who are so shiny and bright? Now imagine, when you don't do wudu, with being careful. By being careful. You just come and do whatever and however you want to do. And this next Friday, inshallah, we'll touch upon this too. But let me complete the second part of the hadith part of Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam stated, فَمَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ مِنْكُمْ أَنْ يُطِيلَ غُرَّتَهُ. So anyone who is able to increase the shining on your body, a part of the wudu, in other words, فَلْيَفْعَلْ, then they should do it. And that's the reason. It's been mentioned in the hadith and in Sahihain. It's been mentioned that Hazrat Sayyidina Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu and likes of Hazrat Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when they used to do wudu, they would wash their arms up to ibtihi. That's why it says, the words of hadith is up to their underarms. And then they were asked the question, our wudu is so quick that we feel that how quick I can do wudu and complete my salah and get on with my work. Sahaba, they had other ideas and they had something else in their mind. Their practice upon the deen had a purpose and reason, not for this dunya but for the hereafter. When these Sahaba, they were asked, why do you do mubalagha in wudu, exaggeration in washing your parts of the body and limbs when you do wudu? They said, have you not heard the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? That on the day of Qiyamah, our parts of the wudu will be shining and they'll be bright. I want to increase that brightness. You wash till here? Sahabi says, I will do till here. Subhanallah. This was, they had this in their mind, that what can I do to please Allah, and what can I do to achieve more and more on the day of Qiyamah? Subhanallah. The conclusion is, my dear brothers, Taharat and being clean and being pure is an essential part of our deen, and it does not change with this society. It does not change with where we live and how the facilities are available using urinals. If it doesn't keep you clean and drops of urine comes up to you, teaching our children from the young age that they should not be standing up and passing the urine. They should be sitting down and relieving themselves. These are the essential parts of our day-to-day life. If we won't teach them, then who is going to teach them? If we won't act upon it, then who is going to act upon it? This is part of our deen. This is part of our day-to-day practice and life. When we look at Rasul Kareem alayhi salatu wasalam and what he taught, and I pray to Allah that Allah Azza wa Jal make us true Muslims, make us the Muslims who act upon the teachings of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Wa ma alayna illa al-balagh. Assalamu alaikum.